I know this lady who told me a story about something that happened to her when she was a young girl. I think she told me she was about 3 or 4 years old, and she went to her, I think it was her aunt's house, and her aunt's son, older cousin, essayed her. And this little girl, I think she was about 3 or 4 years old. And when the little girl got home, she told her mother, and I don't remember if the lady said that she had the words to say what happened to her, but the child was traumatized, and it took her months to speak. She stopped speaking. Fast forward many years later, the young girl, of course, is now a woman, and her mother must have forgotten what happened, and she wants her to have contact with this cousin and with the aunt, and with that side of the family. And the young lady doesn't want to have contact with them at all, and she feels like that every time she has contact with them, they're like taunting her, because the cousin was a teenager when this happened. So he knew. He was a young teenager, she said. So he knew exactly what he was doing. And the young lady is so distraught because for whenever she goes, I think her mother has moved into that area now. So whenever she goes to see her mother, this particular cousin and all the other relatives want to see her and all this stuff. And all these years, this woman has been trying to stay away from this side of her family. And my advice to her was, you don't have to see them. Unfortunately, when people abuse other people, the abuser never notices or realizes or even thinks that they're abusing someone. They think that what they've done is okay. That's ludicrous. How can you think hurting another being, another person, is okay? And you have no remorse, you don't care, you think it's all right, and that person that you abuse should be happy to see you. That's the most psychotic thing I have ever heard in my life. But you know what? This happens in families. SA in families happens a lot. So what's the moral of this story? What point am I trying to get across? Parents, pay attention to your children. If you know that your cousin or your uncle or your grandfather or your aunt or even grandmother, because this thing goes a lot of ways, has a problem with abuse, it could be just regular abuse. It doesn't have to always be SA. Keep your children away from them. Because, this lady she's either in her 60s or going to be 60, and she's still tormented about this. And I think it's horrible. Keep your children close to you. Tell your children, listen, we don't go over, I don't let you be around Uncle Paul's house because Uncle Paul touches children inappropriately. You can have these conversations. You can talk to your children. You can tell them these things. Stop trying to hide these diseased people that are in your family, and you don't do anything about it, and you subject your children to it. If you get an idea or a feeling that your mother's or your grandmother's, I want to say, new husband, because sometimes it's the natural grandfather or grandmother or whatever, does weird things or is a weird person, it might not be good for your child, you can tell your child, listen, we don't deal with uncle, grandpa, such and such, because I don't trust him around you. You can tell your children that to keep them safe. That's what we have to start doing as parents, keeping our children safe, telling them the truth. Stop sugarcoating and hiding. And let me tell you something. If it ever comes to it, send that person to jail. You do a crime, you pay the time. Well, I don't understand what the problem is. Because they're your relative, they get a pass? No. If you essay a child, you should go to jail. And that's the truth. And you know what else this happens in? A lot of times this happens in families that call themselves Christians. Because they say, oh, we forgive. Forgiveness has nothing to do with you violating someone. Nothing to do with it. You violate someone, you pay the time, we forgive you while you serving time. That's how it should be. Pay attention to your children.